Dear members and friends of the Kirk of Kansas City, on behalf of the leaders serving on the session and the Board of Deacons, and all of those who call the Kirk our church home, I'm grateful that you are part of this faith community. Since mid-March, all of us have had to adapt to the reality of the COVID-19 global pandemic. Even though the Kirk has shifted by necessity to online worship and physically distant activities, we have never closed. Because of you and your ongoing involvement, we remain a church together. Our COVID-19 Adaptation Task Force has been working since May to help us navigate a way forward. This task force includes ruling elders and deacons, and we would like to share this update about our work.
We know that this disruption is challenging for all of us. The situation is compounded by other disruptions right now. The Kirk is a stabilizing community, helping us weather the pandemic and be a force for good in the world. We know that Kirk participants are diverse in their concerns, perspectives, and tolerance for risk. We've heard from many of you, some of whom are very concerned about COVID, some who are concerned about the well-being of our community, some who really miss being together in person or for worship. The session at the Kirk has committed to concern for the health and well-being, physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional, of our membership and our neighbors as a primary determination for future steps.
We are closely watching our public health officials, our denominational council, and our regional gating criteria to make sure we have the most current information. Listening to these experts help us realize that we made the right choice by moving cautiously. Although we cannot give you an exact date when we will reopen, we will be following these experts. All churches have unique challenges from other venues and gatherings. We gather in large groups, we sit in confined areas with variable ventilation, and we often talk louder and sing. Epidemiologists say these are primary causes for the spread of the virus. What works in one church may not work at the Kirk. We have our own unique challenges, but please know that we are looking into other churches as they begin to contemplate reopening so that we may learn from them. We are recommending, when it is safe to do so, opening in a phased approach. Right now, small groups are able to meet outside the Kirk. The next step is certain small groups will be able to meet inside the Kirk, with finally large groups being able to meet. The last thing that we want to have happen is for a Kirk member to get sick or spread the virus into the community.
We appreciate how everyone is pitching in and how important it is to stay connected the best we can. When we phase back in, and we will, group activities like committee meetings, social gatherings, and worship will probably need to adapt. We will continue with an online presence for church services even after we start coming back together. Actually, it's been a pleasant surprise to have so many people from outside the area worship with us online. We encourage participation in activities you can schedule, either online or in person. If we gather in person, social measures will continue to be in effect. But it's also okay to stay at home if that feels more comfortable for you.
All of us wish that we were not here in this difficult moment in the life of our church, of our community. The challenges we face are not ours alone, and we have a responsibility to do our part to our fellow church members and for our neighbors. We know that it is hard, but we have been so heartened by all that we have been able to accomplish together, from faithful worship to impactful service projects to building community in new ways. And we are honestly excited about what we will be able to do in the future. Your session and deacons are working hard to lead us forward, following the Spirit of our God into these uncharted waters, trusting Jesus' compassion and love will be our guide. Keep looking for our announcements about future plans as they become available. We welcome your questions or concerns or any words of support that we can share with our leadership. Thank you for all you do as part of our Kirk family.